These are 20 things you must know for Apex Season 19. Thank you to EA and Respawn for inviting me to experience the new season early. Let's get into it. Cross progression is finally here. Now this will be available upon release of Season 19, and it will essentially be an account merger. Whichever account is the higher level one will now be the main account, and all of your cosmetics and badges will merge to that new main account. You'll be prompted with a screen as you log in during Season 19, and it should do all of the work for you. Number 2, Stormpoint is getting a huge update. The map's getting overhauled, and I can confidently say that this map is much better now. The first thing you'll notice is the beautiful new skybox. A storm came through Stormpoint and wiped out a bunch of stuff, but with that, they also built up a ton of new interesting POIs. We got Watson's Pylon replacing where Antenna was. There's Zeus Station and Cedo Station. There's Echo Headquarters, Coastal Camp, and they reworked the center of the map where Jurassic Park was, where all of those prowler dens lived. They made the middle of the map much better. It's easier to rotate through. There's actually some loot there. You won't get bothered by the prowlers. And then they also put a new POI where the prowler nest was in between Cascade Falls and Mill. There's a total of 6 new POIs. There's more loot than before, and this map just makes way more sense. I think it will be better for ranked, for pubs, and even for the pros who like to play on it for the competitive game mode. Overall, I really think this is one of the best map updates we've ever seen. Number 3, obviously the new legend is Conduit, but here are her abilities. Her passive is called Save Your Speed. So Conduit gets a speed boost when running towards ally out of range of her tactical. Now this actually works from surprisingly far distances, so your teammate doesn't actually have to be that far away from you in order for this to kick in. As you can see here, my teammate was halfway across the map and my passive was kicking in. Her tactical is called Radiant Transfer. You blast your ally with energy regenerating temporary shields for when they are in danger. Basically, if they've started to lose some shields in a fight, Conduit can boost them slowly, and these are temporary shields. They will go away after some time. You'll see a little indicator in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen to get a measurement on how long you've got on these. You can continue shielding up if you'd like, but this will allow for some interesting gunplay in this upcoming season, as you won't have to back down to heal as much if you have a Conduit on your team, and it can save you in those moments where you're low. Now, Conduit is a support legend, so it's going to be important that you stick close to your teammates if you play her, as you'll really see that she doesn't have a lot going for her if she doesn't have teammates. But with that said, her ultimate is called the Energy Barricade. It deploys an array of shield jammers which damage and slow enemies. This is basically Area Denial 101. You'll see that she deploys these shields in sort of a curved line, and it does a good amount of damage. It occupies a good amount of area, and it will also obviously stun these enemies. Now, it takes about like 260 to 75 damage to destroy one shield jammer, and you can obviously walk through it once you destroy that section, or you can rise and queue over it, or there is some outplay attached to it, but as areas get smaller and smaller, this ability will be very strong. Number 4, the ranked updates. Now, I'm sure some of you saw the blog post that they released, but real quickly, they're increasing some of the bonuses. They're changing ranked pre-made restrictions, which means you can now play with any ranked player that you want to. So if you're a diamond and you've got a buddy in silver, that silver player can come and play with you. Just keep in mind that they'll be playing in your lobbies more so than their lobbies. But most importantly, they've added something called promotional trials, and this is where you'll prove your skill to earn promotion to get up to the next ranked tier. Now, these will scale as each ranked tier gets harder and harder, but basically, let's say you get up to silver 1, you'll be met with some challenges that you have a certain amount of attempts to achieve these challenges in, and if you reach them, then you will go on to gold 4. If you don't reach them, I'm not exactly sure what happens, but you will not progress into that next rank until you pass these promotional trials. Now, I don't have a ton of details on how they'll work. We'll just have to wait until Halloween when the season drops, but it's a new way to incentivize players to actually test their skill so they can't just rat and get the free LP from not fighting and just hiding and gathering that placement. They're trying to make ranked more competitive, and they're also trying to make it not so much of a grind like it was last season. Now let's talk about some weapons and legend changes. Number 5, Catalyst is getting nerfed. Her piercing spikes will no longer block projectiles. So using your spikes as cover no longer works. There's pass-through damage on this. So as you can see in this clip here, I'm shooting the orb in the piercing spike, but I'm also passing that damage through to the enemy behind it. Previously, it would just do damage to the orb until it was destroyed, and then obviously once it was gone, you were free to shoot the enemy. So this is a small but important change that will be coming. She also can only have 2 of her piercing spikes out now as opposed to the 3 that she used to, and her throw range has been decreased pretty significantly, so she can't just toss them from really far away. They felt like this was more of an assault characteristic as opposed to a controller legend characteristic, because Caustic, Rampart, Watson, they can't launch their tacticals like Catalyst can. I will say though, she can still throw them from a good bit of distance. It's just probably cut in half now. They also changed something with her wall where the cooldown will actually begin once the wall goes away. It used to begin right when you sent the wall out, so that's a slight change to make her wall not come back as quick as it has been. Number 6, Bangalore is getting nerfed. They've decreased the double time, they've decreased the lifetime of her smokes, and they've decreased the stunning effect that occurs when enemies get hit by a Rolling Thunder ultimate. I don't have exact times on these, but it's pretty clear that they have slightly decreased all 3 of these things. They did say it shouldn't change her that much. Now there is another change regarding Bangalore and the hot topic of smokes, but I'll get into that later. Number 7, Wraith finally got a buff to her passive, and I could say it's more up to date and better, meaning it's not as delayed. When somebody is actually looking at you, you will get the prompt now, and I tested it out and it seemed to work great. Number 8, Pathfinder, slight buff. Even after an ally scans a care package, Pathfinder can still scan it himself in order to get that extra zip line. Vantage got a slight buff. There is now 6 bullets in her ultimate as opposed to the 5 bullets, which used to be. Number 9, Newcastle also got a slight buff. There's an increase on his leap height when he uses his ultimate, as well as a quicker come down with the wall when planting it. Number 10. Now they didn't say specifics here, but they did mention that the public matchmaking should be updated this season, particularly when it comes to SBMM. Now I want to be clear here that I don't know what this exactly means. This could make SBMM more intact in pubs, or it could make it less. I really don't know. They just said that it will be updated this season and to refer to their blog post about it from earlier in the year. I know we're all hoping that pubs don't feel as sweaty, but I can't say for sure that that will be the case in season 19. I did think it was worth mentioning though. All right, regarding weapons, number 11, the projectile size of the longbow, charge rifle, and sentinel have all been increased. The bow check also has a faster draw speed and tighter blast pattern, and you're able to toggle on or off the shatter caps. The shatter caps seem to be better now, but ultimately that draw speed makes this gun much better. Number 12, they've nerfed the 30-30's hipfire, so spamming it is not as effective up close. They nerfed the Hemlock's damage. It's a slight damage reduction. I don't have exact figures, but it's a slight nerf. Number 13, the L-Star is coming out of the care package and the Wingman is going in. I will say, obviously the L-Star is not coming to floor loot like it was in the care package, but it is better than what it was previously when it was on the floor. So it's a really strong gun. I think it will be part of the meta in season 19, but the Wingman is actually a beast. It has the skull piercer and boosted loader built into it. It does like 50 damage a shot and 95 a headshot, has a fast fire rate. I mean, this gun is going to be something you want to pick up when you find it. Oh, and something about the care package weapons is that every care package will now have a weapon in it guaranteed at all points of the game. They want to make care packages rewarding, and they also want players to go for them, and the players who don't go for them, they want to be worried about what weapon that player got. Number 14, regarding crafting this season, the R301 and the Volt will be going in, which means the RE45 and the 3030 will be coming out. The digital threat is being pulled from the rotation of crafting altogether. They felt like this was a good way to combat the Bangalore can't see shit meta. Having it in crafting made it very accessible, so it will still be on the floor loot. It hasn't been changed in how it works at all. It's just not going to be in the crafter at all going forward. Number 15, the boosted loader is obviously gone from floor loot, but as I said, it still remains on the Wingman. The turbocharger damage nerf that they applied a few seasons back has been reverted. So now when you pick up a Devotion or a Havoc and have the turbocharger on it, it will not have that -1 damage reduction like it previously had. They felt like if you have a turbocharger, you shouldn't have to be burdened with the question of to use it or to not use it because of the damage reduction. Number 16, the gold weapons this season will be the L-Star, the Havoc, the RE45, the longbow, and the car. I would seriously watch out for that gold L-Star, as I think it will be the most overpowered weapon out of those 5. Number 17, the map rotation, at least for the first half of season 19, will be Stormpoint, Olympus, and Broken Moon, and this will be for ranked and for pubs. I do think they will be adding some other maps to Mixtape, specifically a new POI on Storm Point, but I'm not exactly sure when that will drop. Number 18, Revenant is getting a small, slight nerf, and it's really centered around his ultimate. In the past season, the time window in which an assist would be granted and therefore extend his ultimate timer was 30 seconds. Now you'll still get an assist in terms of kill points, but in that 30-second window, the window to extend the ultimate is 3 seconds when it comes to an assist. The time extension amount remains the same. Now, this sounds kind of confusing, but what I think it means is that when it comes to getting an assist and not a kill in his ultimate, you just have a shorter window of it rejuvenating his ultimate. Number 19. Now, some of you have heard about this already, where the dive trails from ranked are being removed and they're being replaced with legendary banner frames, and here are what they look like. As you can see, the Predator, Diamond, and Master banner frame, they look pretty good. I'm still kind of bummed out about trails being gone and not reworked, but here's what we got for a ranked reward, and this is what this season will look like. And lastly, number 20, aim assist is still on the slate to be changed. Now, it's not going to be changed at the beginning of season 19, and I don't even know if it'll be changed halfway through this season, but it is something that they're still looking at, and they just want to make sure they get it right. They don't want to nerf aim assist too much, and they don't want to change it so it's even stronger than what it already is, but be on the lookout in the future for an update to aim assist. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn all about the best tips for controller players, I suggest you check out this video next. Thanks for watching. Peace.